Alright guys, and welcome to my review of the first big superhero film this year, Logan. Now just a quick disclaimer, I haven't watched X-Men 3, Days of Future Past, First Class, The Wolverine. I think the only ones I've watched are X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X-Men Apocalypse, and X-Men Origins Wolverine, and the only one I can properly remember, because I watched it last year, was X-Men Apocalypse. So I'm just going to say, if you're wondering whether to go into this film because you've not watched the other ones, just go and watch it. So James Mangold directed The Wolverine. He's come back to direct this one. I think he kind of wants to right the wrongs that he did with that first film, because it had mixed critical reception, I think. And then Hugh Jackman's back to put his last performance in as Wolverine, and Patrick Stewart's in to play Charles Xavier, or Professor X. And then I don't know how many of you will know Steve Merchant. He's famous for like working with Ricky Gervais and working on An Idiot Abroad, which is one of my favourite TV shows ever. But yeah, he's like sort of a weird albino character in this film. And no, I'm not saying albinos are weird. He's weird and he's an albino, or albino. I don't know how you say it, but he's weird and he can't go out in the sun, we'll just say that. And it was just a bit of a shock because I don't really see him in many films. He's just I'm just sort of known for like British comedy. It was quite cool seeing him in this film. That's just a little teaser there of what you could expect. You probably don't know who he is, to be honest. Yeah, before going into this film, on IMDb it was on like a 9.3, which is mad. That was only after 5,000 reviews, which you might think is a lot, but a lot of the big blockbusters get like 300,000, 400,000 reviews, so it's going to drop down. But when I was going in, I had high expectations. All the critic reviews were high, all the YouTubers that I watched were giving it high praise, so I went in with pretty high expectations. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't want to be biased, so I'm just going to speak the truth. What a fucking film. I'm just going to say it right now, go and watch it. Now I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the Marvel films, of the X-Men films. I just feel like they're all really over the top, and I know that's what superhero films are. It's about people superpowers. Like, of course they're going to be over top and stupid and stuff like that, but I like it when it's grounded. So like the Christopher Nolan trilogy of Batman, I like those types of films because it feels grounded and real. And this film, again, it's a really human story. It's grounded, it's real, and that leads me straight into my positives of just how real and human this film felt. I mean, this film's the first X-Men film, apart from Deadpool, to be R-rated, so it's the first like look of Wolverine we've had as with the R rating, and they took that R rating, they just absolutely grinded it. They were chopping people's heads off, little girl carrying someone's decapitated head, you had Professor X swearing, dropping the F-bombs. They took that R rating and they fucking abused it, and fair play to them. As I said, this was a really grounded film, and I just like the way the whole narrative played out. It didn't go too over the top. There was obviously some big action set pieces and things that you wouldn't see in like a Oscar contender film, although this film was pretty good, and Logan for Oscars maybe, you never know. We were only 2-3 months into the year, so probably not. Yeah, it felt quite contained. It was sort of like a road trip film, mixed with superheroes, mixed with a dark and gritty wolf man who was chopping people's heads off. So if that appeases you, just go and watch this film. My last massive positive of this film is just the characters and the chemistry the actors had on screen, and it led to some pretty emotional scenes, some scenes with some real weight where a character had a little comeback, and when you watch the film, you'll know the comeback I'm on about. And when you watch the film, just drop it in the comments, because it was pretty salty. I was just thinking, basically Wolverine got roasted. That's all I'm going to say. So look forward to that as well. Oh, another thing to mention, the villain in this film, better than most Marvel villains, if I'm honest, unless you're counting like the Spider-Man films, because I really like the villain in Spider-Man 1 and 2, and no, not Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, but the villain in this film, probably better than most other Marvel films, although there was sort of a mix of the villains. There was like the higher power, and then there was like the brute sort of villain. I'm not going to spoil anything on who the villain was. It was a good villain. It was a worthy villain to go up against Wolverine in Hugh Jackman's last portrayal of the Wolverine. Now if I move on to my negatives, it's the tiniest little nitpicky thing. The pacing was just like a tiny little bit slow at parts, and that was it. Like the rest of it was paced really well. I'm just trying to think of some negatives, because I don't think a film really can be perfect apart from the Lord of the Rings films. No, even the Lord of the Rings films have problems. I just think the pacing in parts, you were sort of like, come on, pick up. But even that, it's not really a problem. It's just developing the characters, which is good, because I don't think a lot of superhero films take the time to like develop the characters and make you care. So fair enough, fair play. Even the negatives are positive. So that just shows how much I enjoyed this film. As I've said, I really enjoyed this film. I recommend you going and watching it, even if you're not caught up with the X-Men films, or any of the X-Men films in fact. Go in, watch this film straight off. It stands on its own. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, that's the end of my Logan review. Recently I uploaded a recap of the Oscars, talking about the controversy that happened there, and I also uploaded a video, a little Q&A. made the questions up. I didn't really get questions because I don't think I'd get any, but it's a pretty funny video. I basically just talk about myself, so if you do watch these videos and you sort of want to know a bit about my film taste and what my sense of humour is like and all that sort of stuff, that's in that video. If you could go and give them a watch, and if you enjoy those videos, drop them a like because it's always appreciated. And if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more film reviews, a like would be appreciated on this review as well. If you're new and you enjoy film related content, so news, trailer reactions, film reviews, TV reviews, because I think I'm gonna bring a review out for Rick and Morty season 1 and 2 soon. Just Rick and Morty as a whole, it's just so good. But yeah, if you're into any of that geeky nerdy stuff, a subscribe would be appreciated because I'm probably going to be talking about most of that stuff throughout the duration of this channel. I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.